This is Steve Robbins. Welcome to the Get It Done Guys, quick and dirty tips to work less and do more. The problem with being a villain is that, well, you have to live like one. It was a gray, cold morning. The wind whipped through the dark, foreboding castle, chilling the wicked witch to the bone. This was not good. It's hard enough to be evil when it's warm out, but when your toes stick out from beneath your too-short blanket and get cold, oh, it's enough to make you want to curl up with a purring kitty cat and sip hot chocolate. And when you're evil, you just don't do that. It's in the union rules. So the witch called to her minions. Forces of good, they have helpers, teammates, and colleagues. All that forces of evil have are minions. Useful, yes, but they're not exactly great for stimulating conversation. The weather disappoints, she proclaimed. Fix it, immediately. Her minions scurried out of the room. She heard hammering outside and smiled, imagining the wonderful wood-burning heater they were going to have for her in just a few minutes. They wheeled in a large metal box on wooden rollers. Voila! Cried the head minion. It bends space and time and turns the snow pure white. Pure white. White snow. WTF. The wicked witch buried her head in her hands. Forces of good always had colleagues with PhDs. Minions, not so much. Some of the Wicked Witch's problems are simply communication. She knows exactly what she wants. Warmth, either a heater or maybe little booties to protect her feet, but the language that she's using isn't language that will work with minions. That's because to get your message across, you need to send it in ways that work for everyone. In my career, and I've been doing public speaking and training professionally for years, it seems that one distinction is very, very important in crafting your message. And that's the difference between abstract and concrete. Abstract thinking is what drives progress. One of the things that separates human beings from beasts is that humans can think abstractly. We give words to things, and then we act as if those words are real. A beast can say, roar. The wicked witch can say, the weather disappoints, fix it. The words weather, disappoints, and fix are all abstract. They refer to concepts and broad categories, not specifics. Abstraction drives pretty much all of human progress. Without it, we couldn't have language, we wouldn't have science or mathematics or engineering. How would you feel about that? I'll bet you thought something like, okay, I guess that's bad, but at least school would have been easier. Concrete thinking is what drives action. You see, without the abstract thinking, you also wouldn't have kitty pictures. You wouldn't have stereos for dance parties. You wouldn't have People Magazine or Oprah. You wouldn't have the clothes you're wearing as you listen to this. And if you're not wearing clothes, you wouldn't have the websites you're watching in the other browser tab. And you wouldn't have smartphones to take selfies and post on Instagram. Now you're thinking, life would be too horrible even to contemplate. Right? Right. Now, did you notice what I did there? With broad abstract words like science or math, you get a vague picture in your mind and you search for a single reason to care. But with specific concrete language, you clutch your smartphone in horror as you desperately soothe yourself by surfing kittytube.com. Abstract thinking is great for speculation, but it isn't going to drive people to action. It doesn't bring up strong emotions, and it doesn't tell people exactly what to do. Concrete thinking does. Some people respond more to abstract ideas, others respond more to concrete. You can see this in political debates. Take flag burning. For some people, the specific imagery of a burning flag inflames their passion. For others, the abstract idea of free speech is what inflames their passions. The two sides can't meet in the middle because there is no middle. They're talking two different languages. Start your message with your preferred language, because fortunately, the two kinds of communication work well together. When you want to get your message across, give both the abstract idea and concrete examples of that idea. Of course, you'll be starting from your own preferred style, whether that's concrete or abstract. If you're starting with a concrete example you want to communicate, ask yourself why that example matters. What general principle is it following? Let's say you want to tell people, the little girl fell down the well. Why does it matter? Well, it matters because she's a member of your community and you want to save her. That's the abstract version. If you're starting with an abstract idea, ask yourself why that abstract idea matters. What are the specific examples of it? If you want to tell people we have to save members of our community who are in danger, ask yourself what examples you have. Maybe the little girl who fell down the well. Now include both styles in your message. Combine them. Say, the little girl fell down the well. She's a member of the community and we must save her. Concrete thinkers will hear the first part and they'll be moved to action. Abstract thinkers will hear the second part and they'll be moved to action. Sadly, in this case, everyone rushed to the well and the little girl was nowhere to be seen. Just bubbles. Numbers can also be general. This isn't just limited to words. Numbers can be more abstract or more concrete. So when discussing wealth inequality, conversations are almost always abstract. The new tax bill only helps the top 1%. Since the top 20% thinks they're in the top 1%, they don't object. But it changes when you use concrete numbers. The tax bill only helps people who make over $396,000 per year. When you lay the number on the line, people can clearly see exactly how rarefied the top 1% really is. If you read transcripts of my episodes, you'll notice that every episode alternates between abstract and concrete. Even this episode does. I present a concrete story, perhaps about a wicked witch, and then I flip to the abstract idea that unclear communication can be a problem. And in fact, if you were listening closely, you'll notice that even the very sentence I just uttered itself included both the abstract idea and the concrete example. And at last, the wicked witch knows what to do. She can declare, "The weather disappoints. Fix it immediately." That's the abstract version. Then she can give concrete examples. "It's too cold. Bring me a wood-burning heater and some warm, comfy knit booties to keep my feetsies warm." Having saved hours of back and forth with her minions, she has a lot of thinking time as she warms her feet by the fire. She realizes that minions are actually kind of boring companions. Maybe she should turn good. Well, for the conversation, of course. That little girl she rescued from the well kept babbling on about collapsing wave functions and the Copenhagen interpretation and some German guy's cat. Maybe she'd be a fine conversational companion. Just unlock her shackles and free her from the dungeon. What was her name again? Dorothy something or other? I'm Steve Robbins. Follow Get It Done Guy on Twitter and Facebook. I give great keynote speeches on productivity, living an extraordinary life, and entrepreneurship. Find me at steverobbins.com or join my personal mailing list by texting Get It Done to 33444. You'll also get a free copy of my secret book chapter on how to build relationships that help you succeed. Work less, do more, and have a great life.